Are you a control freak? What's interesting here at Nomad Capitalist is working with a lot of highly successful people who've taken chances in life, and myself included. We like to be in control. Control is a very interesting thing that I think really plays a role in the behavior of executing a successful offshore plan, because people who are successful like having control. I saw a guy in our business not too long ago, this offshore business, who said, "My clients are control freaks." And he was very proud of that. And I thought, that's kind of interesting to say. Should they be control freaks? On the other hand, I run a business, and I've at times been called a control freak because I like to control each of the different aspects. I want things in the business to run smoothly. So in this video, I'm going to share exactly when you should be a control freak and when you shouldn't, based on what I've been doing and what's worked for me. Hey, I'm Andrew Henderson. As you know, I like to talk a lot about behavior here. A lot of other people in the offshore world like to talk about ones and zeros, and if you just set up this company or that company or this bank account, everything will be fine. But what's very intriguing to me is the behavioral side of what causes people to be successful. This isn't just for your offshore plan, it's for everything in life. So I want to talk about the idea of control, based on not only what's worked for me, but what I've seen in our experiences working with people who've had success in getting their plans, their Nomad Capitalist plans, laid out. Here's my simple idea. Be a control freak when you understand the subject material and you can dominate. Don't be a control freak when it's something that is new to you. So, for example, if I wanted to go out and get another passport, let's say I wanted to go and get a Caribbean citizenship by investment. Well, I've already done that once. I've already obtained, multiple other second passports. I know how that works, and so that's a process where I might be able to be a bit more of a control freak. Now, what's interesting is because I've done it so many times, and because we know how to suss out a vendor, and we've got a network of vendors here, and I know what to look for. I would just go and find the person who could, solve the problem. Let's say I wanted to be a citizen of Grenada. I would go and find the person in Grenada who could just handle the process for me. And because I've done it so many times before, I would just not be a control freak and I would let them handle it. But that is an area where I think that, I could be a control freak. I talk to people all the time who they run their businesses and they know everything about how their business runs. They know how, the website is done. They know how the SEO on the website is done. They know how, clients come in, and they should control every aspect of that experience, because it's what they know. In my business and every business I've run, I've started out doing a lot of the grunt work myself because I wanted to understand how it worked. When Nomad Capitalist first started, the web developer for a couple of years was me. People would always ask, where's your web developer? And I would say, I'm the web developer, because I wanted to be able to understand what was going on so that now I can delegate that, I can outsource it, and I can make sure it's being done properly. When someone comes to me and says, it's going to take us, a month to do this web development job, I say, no, it's not. I said, move out of the way. I'll do it tomorrow, and I'll show you how it's done. And I'm able to have that control because I know what's happening. And so I think what people sometimes confuse, and I've done it too, is you're running a business and you have a great level of competence and confidence in your business and knowing what it is that works in your business. And so that's where I think you absolutely should be a control freak. You want to be a control freak in your office. And listen, here's the big thing that I think holds a lot of people back. Control freak itself is somewhat of a pejorative term. Who's it used by? It's used by everyone from employees to spouses to family members who don't like the fact that you are taking control. If you want to be successful, you've got to take control, and you've especially got to take control of things that you know how to guide. You have an intuition, which is what made you successful. So use that control to implement your intuition to make sure things get done the way you know that they need to get done, because that's how it's going to work. And so what I think I've had to learn to be careful of is not listening to the pejorative nature of some of these terms. Oh, he's a control freak. Yes, I'm controlling stuff that I know how to control. If I know your job better than you, then I'm going to be in control. That's why I've been doing it a lot longer. Where I think people struggle, and where I've struggled as well, is letting go of control on stuff I don't know about. When we did hire a web developer, it's hard to give up the keys to the kingdom. And I had to really push myself to say, most people aren't out there to screw you. Some people may be incompetent, but okay, we've got proper redundancies. We've got backups of the website. We've got everything, like if I want to grow, I have to hand over this control. I think that's a very tough thing that I've seen working with a lot of entrepreneurs is each time they hand off something new, it's a tough thing. It's a difficult thing. What I've seen with the most successful people that have worked here at Nomad Capitalist is that's what they're really good at. They're letting go of ceding control in a concentrated, intelligent way. They're not just handing over the keys to everything with no backups, no redundancies. They have plans. They have they're in control of things in the background. But in the foreground, the most successful folks have said, you know what? I don't know how to set up an offshore company. You know what? I don't know how to deal with an offshore bank, especially when it comes to residences and passports and stuff. You know what? I don't know how to do that. And what I tell people is you're never going to know entirely how something works until you've done it. You can read forums, you can read blogs, you can even get a plan. We could put together a whole plan and we can explain everything. And I can tell you how it's going to work. But until you've actually gone to the bank, until you've actually gone to the country and gone through the immigration process and got the residence card or got the passport or purchased a house in another country or whatever it is, you're not going to entirely understand. That's why I say doing begets more doing. I own real estate in other countries because I started buying one piece of real estate, and it was very hard for me. It was really hard for me to totally cede control. It was hard for me to go and go through a different process and take money out of the bank and take cash, cold hard cash, to buy the property. It was hard for me to trust the guy who was walking down the street with me, the lawyer who was walking down the street with me, making sure that my cold hard cash didn't get ripped off my chest by someone, but it all worked out. And so what I've really learned is for the stuff that I'm not an expert in, I don't want to be in control, right? When I get, someone who films, videos, and they've been filming videos for 30 years, I might have ideas, but my goal is the end result. Where do I want to be? Whether it's I want to get a second passport that helps me do A, B, and C, or I want professional looking videos. I think the key is ceding control to people who have experience, who know what they're doing. That's why I also think, vendor selection is important. That's why we spend so much time here at Nomad Capitalist with our research team, really vetting vendors who speak our language, as it were, who we think, based on all of our experience, they have what it takes to execute on whatever new program we're coming up with. Because the other issue that I've seen, not now, but in past years when we would take on people who didn't have as much money, is when you're afraid to spend money, when you're looking for just the best price, you're going to hire a vendor, you're going to hire someone to help you, and you're going to be afraid to seek control because that person's just not very good, right? You're going to go for the cheapest option, knowing that you have to be a control freak, and then being upset that you have to control that person. It's one thing I see with friends of mine back in the United States who, their businesses haven't grown that much because they hire people who don't really know what they're doing, and then they say, oh, everyone has to be controlled, everyone has to be told what to do. Well, the issue is you get the wrong person to hand over control to. So, in summary, if you know something really well, you should be in control. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't let some employee or a family member or whoever tell you that you shouldn't be in control. You should dominate that. If it's something new that you're doing, definitely you want to try and find the best person who can help you, someone that you can be totally confident in, and someone to say, hey, you know what? I've got myself protected, but here are the keys. And I think that's what I've found over hundreds of folks really gets people the best results. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson from Nomad Capitalist. I wrote this book, which you can find on Amazon, to distill a lot of the stuff we talk about in these videos and a lot of the stuff I've learned over the last decade plus traveling all around the world, teaching you about how to legally reduce your taxes, build your personal freedom, and create wealth faster. Definitely get a copy of this book if you want to learn more. Now, if you want to watch more videos, make sure you subscribe to our channel and make sure you click the notifications bell so you never miss one of our new videos with more tips on how to go where you're treated best. And if you're already a 6 or 7-figure entrepreneur and you'd like to put these strategies in place for yourself, go to nomadcapitalist.com and learn about how I can help you.